One of my all-time favorite albums is White Pony by Deftones. I recently did a live stream where I broke down the entire album front to back from a compositional perspective. The whole live stream is 3.5 hours long, and almost 3 of that is just me freaking out about Abe Cunningham's drums. All right, let's get into it. I don't know how to say this word, but it's like one of my favorite songs I've ever done, but Feiticeira. If it's Portuguese, Feiticeira. Let's get started. Sorry, I don't know what accent that is. It's not Portuguese. Oh man, oh God. The whole time I'm just freaking out about the drums. That's basic. I mean, I love every component of Deftones, but to me, like, the drums just grab me and hold me down. Like I'm just, it's like every moment I'm pretty much enthralled with the drums. Because what Abe Cunningham does is he holds down the groove so solidly. And when I say holds down the groove, I don't mean like, oh, he's just like playing in time. Like, he sits in it. He doesn't rush. He seems to feel the groove so fully. If you drum, then you know when people say, you're in the pocket. He's just always in the pocket. But he's so good at varying his groove, holding it down, but making it so interesting with all these really great rhythmic accents. He's got all his little tricks, I'm sure we could notice all these patterns that he's doing. If you listen to it again and just listen to his snare, you'll see that, like, he could have just kept the snare on 2 and 4, like, for the most part, like a lot of drummers might, but he he's accenting things all the time, and he's never doing the same fill twice, and he's it's just so dynamic and so musical. Anyway, I'm just so in love. So the first part, this guitar, man, it's so harsh. It's like, oops, wrong track. Hang on. It's so squeaky. It's so like, don't you hear all those harmonics? And that's in some weird meter. Fuck. I'm drunk. I feel like that intro is in like 3. So it's like the phrasing repeats after 3 beats. And the beats are slow because it's sludgy. It's another thing I love about the Deftones. Sludgy tempos. But yeah, I love the unevenness of that riff. And it sounds like it's in A. Like, but then it changes key, like when the song kicks in. Oh, I just love that intro so much. Okay, that's such an Abe thing to do. We have to talk about this. It's such an Abe thing to do. And I bet you this is related to a genre. And I feel like I've definitely heard this before. I want to say maybe it's kind of from punk. Maybe. I don't really listen to punk music, but it's the feeling I get. Where he goes, his snare comes right before his kick on like an offbeat, like I just freaking love that. Notice how every single time before that beginning downbeat, he varies it. The first time he does a little roll. Second time he goes, second time he goes like, it's just, okay. I'm done. All right. So, but then it kicks in. And then it sounds like it's in B major, kind of. That's pretty weird. Fuck, I'm drunk and I'm on my knees. Please stop chase. Yeah, it's like major all of a sudden. And it's so weird. I always thought I listen to his lyrics, I pick up phrases, but I wasn't really thinking too hard about the meaning. But, you know, fuck, I'm drunk, I'm on my knees, the police stopped chasing, I'm her cool meat. Like, you know, it's not a happy message. I don't know what it is, but it's not great. And it's just always weird to hear him just like, I'm on my knees. And it just sounds so major to me. Please stop chasing, I'm her. And then he goes, her. And that's so dissonant. And then it goes back to. I love that contrast. That moment is so creepy. You know, it's again, he's just like singing out, drums are full on, everything's in a major key, and then he's like, you know, I'm her. And then that very kind of violent sounding guitar riff comes back in. New, cool. I love the way he says cool. I always like the effects on his voice too. They're always really tasteful. And I think a big part of his sound. Stop chasing her. can I get really, really, really nerdy? I think there's like a note or two that Chino likes to sing. And when I say a note, I'm not talking about like the note of G sharp. I mean a spot in the scale that he, seem to prefer. Because I think all of us have those. All of us that write things that are tonal, at least. So he really likes the 2nd degree, otherwise known as the 9th. And I will prove my hypothesis in the next 2 hours. Cool me. It's this one. Cool me. It's a really tense place to stay, and most melodies don't start there or end there or rest there. And he's like, I like that. I like that a lot. And it's, yeah, I think the other one he likes maybe is like the 7th or the 4th. There are other notes that create tension and are not places of rest, and he likes to stay there and defy that. It's just really cool. Okay. Abe. Brak, brak. It's so great. Okay, I want to talk about this. That's pretty high. You said you were right and you were wrong. This is like a style of his. Not just the notes, the way he's singing, all of it. He's like, you were right and you were wrong. There's something about Chino's vocals that has always reminded me, maybe not in Adrenaline, maybe, but like mostly later, that have reminded me just a little bit of jazz vocals. I know it's really weird, but the way his voice breaks at the end of phrases and that little, you said you were right and you were wrong. Like you could sing that jazzy like so effortlessly. That's a big jump. That's a major 7th. So it's kind of like his voice is giving us this like major 7th chord feel. And something I've noticed about shoegaze, which is still a genre that isn't really well defined in my mind, but I'm starting to pick up on some of the characteristics. Shoegaze has a ton of major 7th chords, like as its basis of harmony. And so here he's kind of doing that. You said you were right. See how that feels just like slightly jazzy, slightly loungy, slightly relaxed. I don't know. It doesn't sound like metal, you know? You were right, and you were... And then he goes down to it again. And this part's so creepy. I love the way that completely devolves. Isn't that just so fantastic? This part has always reminded me of the sound of harmonic minor, so I want to see what's going on here. So, and again, he's singing something really tense against it. There's like pop music, and in pop music, usually vocals sing in the chords. So like if the chord progression's like, your melody would be like, I'm singing in this chord, and I'm singing in this chord, and then I'm singing in this chord, and then I'm singing in this chord too. And it just like follows the chords. He doesn't do that really. He seems to be constantly pushing against the chords. I mean, not to say he doesn't sometimes sing in them, but he's like, seems to be very drawn to dissonance and defiance. So this soon, hear attention, soon this'll be all over. Like what on earth? And then he sings in the chords. Soon this'll be all over. Great. I love it when he sings in that way, like soon I'll let you go, soon I'll let you go, soon I'll let you go. That's it for this video. Stay tuned for the next track on the album. Bye.